As we all know, Obama is the president of the United States. So looking at this film, I have a question about this film really brought the picture that this is a system, it's a system view, and it's a system that's in place in the world. And so a lot of people, like for example in Kenya, they were rejoicing that Obama won the elections. So my question is, realistically, what impact or what changes can he bring now that he is sort of in the system?
Barack Obama is one of 3 signatories to the Stop Tax Haven Abuse Act, one of the few acts before the Senate which does exactly what it says on the tin. He is going to close down the tax havens, many of which, by the way, are British. Wait. Why is he doing that? Because it's the tax havens that have been enabling the enormous capital flights out of the south into the north. It's the tax havens that are undermining the tax regimes of developing countries, so they can't raise the money to fund their own health services, their own education services, and so on.
Obviously, he's a really, really powerful man now, and he's going to be sitting on the G8 and lots of very, very powerful international committees. And I think he's got real potential to reach and tackle some of the Millennium Development Goals. It's about more aid where it matters. I think that's the key thing about aid. It's where it matters.
I could go on for ages. There's so many reasons why it's very exciting. But in the context of what we're talking about today, what better example could you have of how it is possible, if things are bad, if you're oppressed, that you can move from oppression to power? It's only 40 years ago since the civil rights movement started. Trade justice and aid, Alice has mentioned. Okay? What did Obama, or more specifically Joe Biden, actually say during the campaign when asked about the economic crisis? He said he was going to increase American protectionism and cut American aid. Okay? These are not givens. I'm still smitten by Obama, and he seems to be the kind of guy that listens. So I'll reinforce Alice's point. You have to campaign, and this is a global campaign. We don't have to be American to have an influence. We're going to have to work on him to make sure that he is internationalist in that sense, because these are really important issues.
The film didn't say anything about India, and I wondered what the panel had to say about India, because this is a country that did try a more cooperative model, and has now moved apparently to a full market model, which is apparently working.
Okay, I'll be brief. Indian liberalisation has worked in some ways and not worked in others. Okay, a massive increase in economic growth, massive increase in the middle class. There are probably 250 million people in India now who live on, if you like, English standards of living or equivalent, who didn't before. The percentage of poverty, it's debated, but it's gone down by a very, very small amount. And the entrenchment of poverty, especially agrarian poverty, so the rural sector, it has got worse. And I'm seriously concerned about the effect on democracy. There are now increasingly large groups of people who are rejecting democracy. They've been failed by the state, they've been failed by the market. They're going around in sort of Maoist, violent social movements. And which, the Prime Minister of India himself says is the biggest threat India has ever faced. And it's exactly the point that was made in the film about how capitalism can destabilize whole economies. So I'm not 100% pessimistic about India, but I wouldn't say it's a straightforward success story.
But the fact is that how many people are you going to go away and talk to about this? I talk about my family and my friends about issues all the time, and you'd be surprised how much gets through. And just even planting little seeds in people's heads about the ideas, and people go away and you find that they change, they start thinking about how they're living their lives.
The one thing it said to me most strongly, which is very much our sort of slogan at War on Want, is that poverty is a political issue. So in a sense, what we need to do, all of us, is make common cause with our brothers and sisters in the global south, and together to build that global movement for change. And if there is one thing which I find really inspiring about Barack Obama, is that he seems to have touched a chord in the people around the world, not just in the States or not just in Kenya, where his dad may have come from, but around the world, we've been seeing these posts on our email list saying, this really is an opportunity to say we as the peoples of the world can do something new together. So I think if there's one message which we would like to take from that, from this film, from this evening, is that the power lies with us all together to make a change.
Thank you so much, Sean. I think we'll agree that's actually a very appropriate note to end on. Would you just give your panel, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause this evening?